Good day, and welcome to the Budding Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Bridges. In each episode, I cover my experiences, both good and bad, of being a business builder, as well as my journey through the crazy world of entrepreneurship to reach my goal of earning $10 million a year. All right, we're on the fourth week of September. This is episode 115 of the podcast, and I'm really ready to go ahead and start taking a look into October. This is Q4 for all of us, so we're going to be looking at some of the things that are going to be happening as this is the last week of the month. But I still want to go ahead and go through the same formula that we've been following so that everybody can understand where we're going with different things. So in terms of the books that I'm working on right now, there were still the $100 million leads and the $100 million offers from Alex Hormozy, and then finally the Wealthy Consultant by Taylor Welch. I finished both the Wealthy Consultant and the $100 million leads, and now I'm in the process of implementing a lot of the pieces that I've been learning. This is great because when you do some of these books and you get a chance to implement things, it teaches you more about what it was that you learned, the things that are good, the things that are not as good, and things that don't necessarily work well for you. I did an experiment quite a long time ago where I actually took plans that people had written out of how they were, if they had lost everything, how they would make $1 million again. And I tried several of those, and none of them seemed to really fit well. You know, that just goes to show you that some things are good for people and some things aren't as good for them. And that's great, because if you're going to take the time to learn a book, put it into play and see what works for you and see what doesn't. Digging into the $100 million offers has made me really rethink a lot of what I'm trying to accomplish with my business. And we'll find out a little bit more about that when we get down into the what's going on this week and last week. For this month, we've got a client journey map that I've been building, marketing KPIs. I continue to do a lot of my value posting, a lot more of the posting in general. Some of it is things that I've accomplished or done or tried, and some things that I've failed as well. And we're still looking at models. So next month, models is going to fall off, not because that I don't want to do it, because the frameworks that I'm building already have kind of a model built into them, and I'm reproducing that. So that's a great thing to be able to do and say I've taken one thing off of my list, and you'll find out that actually there's two things that are off of my list for the month. This week, I'm still working on frameworks. I've completed a lot of the frameworks up front that I was planning on doing, and now I've moved into market research, creating a framework for how all of your research can be accomplished in relatively easy fashion. Now, you still have to do the hard work. I'm working with a consultant who does research for a living, and so she's going to take over that portion of things for me. We're building out a checklist of all of the things that she needs to know up front in order to be able to perform her research. Well, that's all work that the client is going to have to do. They're going to have to take out the time and work on it themselves to really be able to say, yeah, these are my competitors that I'm targeting. This is my target market. This is how much they make, all these different pieces. So that checklist is being built on the fly right now by us in preparation for some of these conversations that are to come up. I'm still looking at the lead magnet for this being an auto webinar. So I'm looking at signing up for eWebinar, and it looks like it gives us the availability to do on-demand videos as well as everything else. So this is good. I don't pimp these companies by accident. They're actually companies I'm looking at, I'm using. I don't get paid by them, so I just want to preface that in case somebody's kind of wondering here. This isn't a brought to you by kind of thing. That lead magnet is going to give me a lot more functionality in order to be able to move forward, because then I can start driving advertisements to it. Along with models that has come off of my list is the client journey map. It is now complete through a graduated program. I was stuck on onboarding, and I had to really take a look at several different models that I could use for onboarding. And I looked at that and said, okay, well, here's the one that I think matches most closely to my goals and very likely matching the goals of any prospect that's coming in or any client that's moving into the next phase. So my journey map is complete. I want to focus in here on the last topic. This is called niche to micro niche. You might hear it niche, depends on what language somebody speaks. I just like to use niche because it's part of that phrase, there's riches in the niches. A niche is a target that you're going to go after, and then you're going to start scaling it down, and you're going to scale it down further. We're going to get more exclusive as we go. And there's lots of people that write information about this and talk about it. They call it niching down. That's a really good idea. And so I started really taking what I had, which was a service-based business owner, right? So there's a little bit of a niche right there. I'm not dealing with the business as a whole. I'm dealing with the owner, right? So there's a niche down right there. What I've looked at in using the concept of one offer, one target, one platform is that I'm going to be working with legal practices that are focusing on family law. I want to take these companies that have lots of focus, and we're going to peel it out and really build a functional system for how family law can be practiced, not by firms, but by the private practice, the attorneys and partners who actually own everything. It's their name that's on the line. They have a lot to lose if they don't do a good job. This micro niche is pulled down into, we're dealing with private practice, we're dealing with attorneys, partners, we're dealing with people that are already or want to be focusing on family law. That's how you get down into a micro niche. Now you could go further. Maybe you only want to work with men, or you only want to work with women, or you only want to do this or you want to do that. Whatever it is, now you get into geography, right? This one you don't have to necessarily do, especially if you're looking at building an environment for a geographic area. But if you're doing the internet, which is what a lot of people should be doing, you want to have a market that's as broad as you can get it. So you don't want to get too specific here, although I've seen a lot of attorneys that do that. I saw one woman that only did family law and divorce cases for men. That was it, in Indiana. So she could only practice here, so that's where she did. And she excluded over 50% of the state in the process of doing that. It is extremely tight as a market, but she understood what it took to get this done that was underrepresented, that was, really helping people to be able to go down a path and just get really super exclusive here. And that falls within my same B3 accelerator, which is we want to create some sort of a specialty business that it's the only thing you do. You don't do anything else. And that's important. This is kind of the process for this week. You'll see we're really short today. This is only going to be about 10 minutes. But I wanted to kind of wrap it up here for this month, looking forward. Now as we get into October and the weather starts turning colder, and the client journey map and the models are now off, we're still going to be keeping the marketing KPIs. But I'm looking right now at what I want to focus on through the whole month. Obviously, my book is going to be $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozy, and I'm thinking that very likely what I'm going to be implementing as part of the monthly category is the combination of the $100 million leads and the Wealthy Consultant. I'm going to wrap it up, keep it relatively short. This is Randy Bridges for The Budding Entrepreneur, wishing you the best in your health, your wealth, your business, your family, everything about you. Take care and have a great week.